So you are thinking of starting your own business. This can have advantages and disadvantages. Starting your own business will bring a sense of independence and a sense of accomplishment. You will be the boss, and you can't be fired, though there may be days when you would welcome it. Because you can pay yourself a salary and the profit or return on your investment will also be yours, you anticipate a good income once your business is established. You will experience a pride in ownership, such as you experience if you own your own home or your own automobile. You can derive great satisfaction from offering a product or service which is valued in the marketplace. Here are some new business ideas. By being boss, you can adopt new ideas quickly. Since your enterprise undoubtedly will be a small business, at least in the beginning, you will have no large, unwieldy organization to retrain, no board to get permission from, each time you wish to try something new. If the idea doesn't work, you can drop it just as quickly. This opportunity for flexibility is one of small business's greatest assets. Your chances of success in starting your own business. What are your chances of success if you go into business? New businesses are always being started. Almost as many are failing or being discontinued. A year of poor business conditions is likely to be followed by a greater than average number of failures or closings. A year of good business conditions tends to be followed by large increases in the total number of businesses. In general, the number of firms increases with increases in human population, total personal income, and per capita income, and since these factors have increased regularly, the total number of small businesses usually rises every year. This growth is not free of growing pains, however. At the same time new businesses are being born, other businesses are being discontinued. Some of these discontinuances are legally business failures. Other owners give up to avoid or minimize losses and are not failures in the strict sense. Still others discontinue for reasons such as the death or retirement of the proprietor, the dissolution of a partnership, or the sale of the business to a new owner. Younger businesses tend to discontinue first. Many do not make it through the first year. The discontinuation rate of those that survive this first-year burn-in declines steadily until at the end of several years the rate has dropped dramatically. So, your chances of success improve the longer you stay in business. Poor new business management is the largest single cause of business failure. Year after year, the lack of managerial experience and aptitude has accounted for around 90% of all failures analyzed by Dun & Bradstreet Incorporated. Many factors may adversely affect individual firms over which owners have little control. In such cases, the astute manager can often soften the blow or, sometimes, change adversity into an asset. Examples of factors over which the owner has little control are overall poor business conditions, relocations of highways, sudden style changes, the replacement of existing products by new ones, and local labor situations. While these factors may cause some businesses to close, they may represent opportunities for others. A local marketplace may decline in importance at the same time new shopping centers are developing. Sudden changes in style or the replacement of existing products may bring trouble to certain businesses but open doors for new ones. Adverse employment situations in some areas may be offset by favorable situations in others. Ingenuity in taking advantage of changing consumer desires and technological improvements will always be rewarded. In the final analysis, it is up to you. Will your management be competent? Will you be able to judge and then satisfy your customers' wants? Can you do this accurately and quickly enough to more than compensate for risks due to factors beyond your control? Such accomplishment requires expert management. Your return on investment. Will the rate of return on the money you invest in your business be greater than the rate you could receive if you invested your money elsewhere? While your decision to go into business for yourself may not depend entirely upon this, it is a factor which should interest you. Too frequently people invest money in their own businesses under the misapprehension that the financial return will be far greater than the return from other investments. Investigation of the average annual returns in the line of business in which you are interested may be worthy of your time. Your decision to go into business may not depend entirely on financial rewards. The size of the potential return on your investment may be overshadowed by your desire for independence, the chance to do the type of work you would like to do, the opportunity to live in the part of the country or city you prefer, or the feeling that you can be more useful to the community than you would be if you continued working for someone else. Do not overlook such intangible considerations. But remember, you cannot keep your own business open unless you receive an adequate financial return on your investment. Cash planning. The first question you want to answer is, how much money will I need? But this question can't be answered until several other questions are answered and several decisions are made. To decide how much money is needed to start a business, enter all of your potential income and all of your planned expenses on a worksheet or form. Even though you may feel that this kind of planning is more than you need to start a simple small business, it is useful to get started with this approach to management, which puts figures down in black and white. You will find the same approach valuable in an established business. First, estimate your sales volume. This will depend on the total amount of business in the area, the number and ability of competitors now sharing that business, and your own capability to compete for the consumer's dollar. Obtain assistance in making your sales estimate from wholesalers, trade associations, your banker, and other business people. Several business and statistical publications may be useful in making sales volume estimates. In reaching your final estimate of sales, do not be overenthusiastic. A new business generally grows slowly at the start. If you overestimate sales, you are likely to invest too much in equipment and initial inventory, and commit yourself to heavier operating expenses than your actual sales volume will justify. Since you are just starting up, you might have no sales for the first few months. At any rate, you can expect your first few months to be very low. You must also determine what proportion of your sales will be cash and what proportion will be sold on credit. If you estimate that a certain portion of the sales will be on credit, then you must figure when you are going to get the money for these sales. 1 month? 2 months? More? Never? Next, in our guide to starting new small business, estimate how much cash will be paid out. Remember that in starting a business, you may be purchasing equipment, paying fees and licenses, making deposits on lease, utilities, and so on, several months before you open the door. Some of these expenses are easy to estimate. If you have decided to lease a building, more about that later, then you know what your deposits will be and how much you will have to pay out each month. You can probably get the cost of fees, licenses, and utility deposits with a few telephone calls. Other expense figures may take a little more work to get. One way is to obtain typical operating ratios for the kind of business in which you are interested. Among the sources for such ratios are Dun & Bradstreet Incorporated, trade associations, publishers of trade magazines, specialized accounting firms, industrial companies, and colleges and universities. The typical ratios for your type of business multiplied by your estimated sales volume will serve as benchmarks for estimating the various items of expense. However, do not rely exclusively on this method for estimating each expense item. Verify and modify these estimates through investigation and quotations in the particular market area where you plan to operate. Don't forget to pay yourself too. You may need money to live on if you have to quit your job. If your spouse is working and can support the family for a while, you may not have to withdraw money from the business. The longer you can go without taking money out, the quicker you will build up a strong cash position. Now that you have estimated your cash receipts and expenses, write down the amount of cash you will put into the business to start. If you continue this for the entire year, very soon you will find you have negative numbers or a negative cash flow. About this time, you will also realize that you should be working on this form with a pencil that has a good eraser. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it informative and enjoyable. If you did, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please let us know in the comments section below.